Sodan zoji janam la janju bardo dani gyapson je ndage jinso je be zonam je dola benje sanje ndo barai sho sanje jodan zoji janam la janju bardo dani gyapson je ndage jinso je be zonam je dola benje sanje ndo barai sho Jedon zoje zonam lo janju bardo dane gyabzon je dage jin zoje be zonam je lolo binje sonje ndu baraishu. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit creating this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit creating this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit creating this practice, may I attain the state of Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings.
So gele chon de ko ta yin do ye wo kun so ma le shi shi chin su she ge ya bu de la gui cha so oda kondana bu che ge lo mye lap chen la le chache chasu tsujene lartangme chushi jenyamna te kunya loye pungre yin zar song re se chujena diri nini che se oda te karasunga wazina ngaran su da jik dunyin denbe da jik ngone di dang shime deki tato de nane nange se semgi deki tubyala 담비 취해야 되다. 오늘 초도 차리요래. 디 밀초 임바치 가지라 카자 쿠두게 자와 제용도 간라. 디 전쟁 니바 숨바테 바자. 아니 즉 단다랑 즉 지든지 자와 팔팔라. 아니 즉 니슈 첨부던지. 아니 즉 맞다 베스르 제디고 아래. 내가 또 사초보지 휘다보지 가서 툭툭지 인 최저인데 또 배 치마랑에 기와 치마 생긴데다 미다바 대난에 미다바 탐이 가게 니루도 마시베 거니 아니 최저는 상자 나자지 그 갈래래 저런 옆에서 지네 도스진 지거래 받았대 디 놀거래스 즉 최생인데 델레장 가자 그도 인도가라 semgidiki tuya indikala tanda pe togo tona khala za na jin jichene semgidiki la semgi dungalde semthani phagi chikkang dungal jimbarchebe nyomonde ngota chebe gone this selje digi docho rewa de tube gone tubu ya inza de khaza khudu jene dandaran chegure de sungware
So there's a verse in Kongdan Rinpoche's advice, in which he begins with saying that after finishing my kind of mundane chores, then later I'm going to engage in Buddhist practice. So what he is saying here is that we ordinary people treat kind of the mundane activity as something that is very kind of urgent, important, and we tend to neglect the practice of the Dharma, which is actually the true source of happiness, not only for this lifetime but also for future life. And so practice of Dharma, instead of treating it like something urgent, we kind of procrastinate with the thought that I will do this tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and then maybe next year, next life. So, and with this comes from lack of understanding subtle impermanence, and so the point here he is advising us is that in practicing of Dharma, we should start it right now. It should have a sense of urgency, just like when we take a meal, we take meal at the right time. We don't postpone it. So likewise with the Dharma, to attain happiness of the peace, it should be treated as something urgent, something that should be practicing right now. And in this practice, the practice with recognizing the nature of different kind of sufferings, and then understanding what are the positive thoughts and emotions, mental factors that we need to be adopted. But all of this practice should be doing, in a very kind of urgent manner.
최기 파게 즉 삼류결소도 또 내가 세셔도 삼류결소래 아니 즉 삼류니 굴롱죄야 이게 시부지게 뭐 차리요 최기자와 선바장의 인스라 선바장은 사단 라면상 저를 송도 하시는 무지게 다 로종 영안 다게 나라테 송요래 제가 선바장부 세대 시부지 땅 남바상게 비치나라 즉 이젠라 채워봤네 즉 타나 경구름 중도하다 즉 남바상게 비치기 부부 기르시던데 dom나 티진 초코는데 테모인 초고니는 뒤용거래 티진 초코는데 티민 초고니디 파기 타동 갭나 치강니는 좀 타동 갭 투그래 있어 송도와 다 티진 초고데 즉 젤라 세와마지 연기 젤라 펜바투 거래 시야데 즉 젤라 펜바투 거래 티진 초고지 젤라 네마자 젤라 세와마지 시야데 티민 초고 나 도스지데 디치딩이는 뉴그레세 수노도가라 다 나한테 최청인제데 티아바지 미치리 젤라 펜바투 거래 취리데 보다 틀리 니가라 즉 선바장부 전주기 셈비즘바지 많다고 보다때 시부지게 전부 차디요래.
So the practice of Dharma that we should be doing kind of right now and onwards, it's also important to know how to do it. So for that, what is important is intention, motivation, and like Lama Tsongkhapa has mentioned in one of his texts, if you have a good mind or kind heart, all the following path and grounds will be likewise. So His Holiness also used to say that although Buddha gave his teaching consisting of 84,000 heaps of teachings, but these all can be categorized into two, higher vehicle and lesser vehicle. And to make these two vehicle and kind of present it in two words, for higher vehicle it would be benefiting others, and the practice of lower vehicle would be simply non-harming. So we can summarize everything into these two basic concepts of higher and lesser vehicle. And for practitioners of Mahayana, higher vehicle, our practice involves benefiting, helping others. And for that, at the minimal level, the intention, we should have practice of altruistic mind or awakening mind.
젠라 펜바투발라 젠라 펜바투나 젠기 펜베 파인데서 삼았다 아니 즉 햄바 마드름나 랑 진징이 현대서 삼다에 셰구거래 이 인디가라 로종 세드가라 랑 진진데 마 직 단다 버동아서 랑 진징기 젠어도 마서나 내디어래 랑 진진다 렘버즈메 딘징이게 디 니가라 님보들라 자주기 셈데 랑 진진란데 똥니도베 다와데기 간진란네 벤진란네 두스체디가라 디 람니가 람탑시니데 냠수 람발라테니 아니 딱 셈라 시디주야지 같이 중고 로종세데 다테리 디인디가라 테링아조 로종 뜬디메케타 파기 자와즈나미도 오다 두스체네 로종님의 어서기디 주야게 가상 시디네마 두수 주고 오스로와 오다테 차디오레 간지 디르사데 라친진다 데머즈메 덴징이 디리아드레.
So benefiting others and serving other sentient beings is it's a really powerful thing and practice, and so here we need to understand the benefits of this practice and its kind of significance, and what we are sort of under the power, or we are enslaved by two things, as we always say, self-grasping and self-grasping mind and truth grasping. So these two grasping, we are sort of enslaved by these two concepts, and the direct counter kind of measure force is altruism, practice of altruism for self-cherishing thought, and then practice and understanding of emptiness for truth grasping. So and for that, these two would we consider these two as a main target here, or objective, and for that we have this text of mind training, and then training our mind so that we can generate these two kind of counter forces, and we will continue with the reading of the text.
바기 자외 치다나 도진이 말 전시지 인저대대 도제단 도제기 도제 아니 니마 디기디 바 세네다 전신 세야데 맹기 전신을 거야 와다더니 마 주야래 와다 직 맹기 전신이나 직 얄까다 자와다 로마당 지부드 제바 차상 멜란 드네 디기 내기 동안 마부시 셀트 구어와 대존의 진지네는 전주 기sem되기 전신되기 아니 즉 뉴모바 셀와서 마체베 하나 상기네야 젠라 펜바투네 디 툴레 아니 젠라 펜바투 초고르고 두스네 뒤자 민진기람라 락첨부지 거투야 오다 가자디 시거 오다 때 인디가라 디리마 디세나 민기 조신 제바 응소소바 내리지게자지 설위 투여바 마세 맨신기 싸와 디부 롬 담마 메토 얄카 로마타기 양 네테다 지워체바 디진도 우시 오니 중에 장주기 sem종기 담바 응소소바 투귤러 tum바 다지미 융기 차시 치치기 잠기 돈 투귤러 투나 뉴모 이지 지통 젠니 탐제 지워제베 맨 담바우 와다도 스스도와 땡원에레 다 내리지게자지 세야돼 바게 간디시 용거리 내리지게자지 세야돼 자와 용사데 디무 딘진라 도샤제난 디무 숨케레 디무 딘진 디부데 뉴모 뚝숨 세야돼 다 틱케브레 tu sumle lunti pekin sum lunti pekin sumle dochala choba dochaki ri akal nerigetajize dochak karza lunti pekin sumsde lungi ri ne yazachi tibene 케브라젠지 만다지 리 야자치 Peking yazachi lungti Peking sum dibene yazachi jigazachi shobdi jana dushi gor tezo menjona seboyara wada dushi ni shigore na tawa yongsa de tati timu dinzili to tele lungti Peking sum lungle ne pe Peking ke tipale ndochake timule ani lung tipa timule lung ke dushene lung neti yonde dushene kishigdo tezo namde thalam salje nala ji khetan tezo sebo sungore za zawe menjunan pe meng yujina oni salboyore kota dusre.
So last class we in the text we deal with the text used metaphor for awakening or altruistic mind. Use an example of sun. Altruistic mind is like a sunlight, and also it is like a diamond. And now the third metaphor that we see here is it's like a medicinal tree. Just like a medicinal tree has a ability to cure illness. Medicinal tree being medicinal, not only its root but its leaf and its fruits all can be useful in healing and illnesses, disease. Likewise, this altruistic mind or awakening mind not only has the ability to eliminate afflictive emotions, negative mentalities during the stages of practice, but even after attaining enlightenment, altruism has the ability to help immense numbers of others to liberate and help them to free from their suffering. So we see that metaphor here. And to continue with the reading, if you have a book, it's on page 15, middle of the second paragraph. In the case of a medicinal plant which has the power to cure the 424 diseases, even its parts such as its roots, fruits, leaves, flowers and branches also have such power. Similarly, there is no need to mention how, if you understand the teachings on mind training, they will uproot the chronic disease of the 84,000 disturbing emotions, because understanding but one part of this teaching will serve as the most perfect remedy for all these ailments. So 424 diseases, we find this in the Tibetan kind of medicine understanding that 424 diseases were initially all kind of rooted or comes from truth grasping, and then truth grasping kind of produces three kind of ignorance, ignorance or delusion, ignorance, hatred, and attachment. And from these three arises, the illness of wind. I think one is jaundice, and others, then others phlegm. So from these three, then there are illness that is 101 related with the wind, 101 related with the jaundice, 101 related with the phlegm, and then 101 sort of equally among these three. So that's a very brief kind of classifications of how we see in Tibetan medicinal kind of study 424 different diseases.
Oda kepardu temba shakya tuba nimanga tobe disu chombala dinsange nimang lekyang chinyamar ngirwa semjen tamje samgyu nyomon le me jagyu lengenda dipasole me rang mato jen lekyang mi lepra chungwa selong ki yisoi iranki rang mato jen sulayang lepra junse yang pato ki kuni rabe shebele zulki lungwa yisu chebe jen ne bai chebe semjen jiden ke kam samba kam dil karpola gawe tensu garu nam temba khoda cheba jikyongwe chi jil kham jendu sha napala gawa tam nida nimayimba lupa chenam thuni ge 중요한 지생기 감수 잠이시고 나서 협할 때는 때문에 오걸 주세 담배 취 주반남라 오나서 발제다 게 지진기 깨는 룬진 bak감들 최 디서부 란란다나 최고 선발 민두라 최디 워르주나 벤나 깨는 란도 유로에 보는 조수 제발 규대이지 규대 오다 두순도 왔다 때 인두가라 니망아 쓰리가라 뒤니마 선진니마 요몽니마 두시고 니마 쓰리가라 즉 요몽라라 쳐 아니 체니마 체퉁 치마 아무래도 말아도 니나 순순 지유디 바마다 요마래 즉 저거 니체네 순데 원다 삼마루 바도 차당 무슨 셔지 이자와도 친 이단진 이자와도 송왕도 봐 뒤니가라 다 섬규 디바마다 메인기 쟁기 첼라 맞죠 저거지야 저거 뒤니 세통 친 거래 이 유튜브 인데보다 세통 친 거래 쟁기 소초나 세통도 그래서 소도 제네베 세달다나 제 세력 교 펜바치바이나 엔 세르는 거 경거무지 야미야도 숨도 와다 두시디가라 직 세통으로 해야 돼 생이 마세야 아니 뇨모라오라로네 뇨모 섬기 뇨모마다 매인다 뇨모라라로네 깬차가 생기 뇨모 깨쳐줘 그것도 깬차가 생기때 내서 유니치 뭐가 당어서 전내기 뇨마 터디야 말아서다 즉 상배 자주기 선대 니지 생들라 더루 소라체나 두카가야 저 차라서 봐 유모로서 봐 니바 미가 왔잖아 맞아 전내기 뇨마 터디 아니 배 데라 예겐 구고 엄마래 장 구고의 엄마래 어따배 깬 체바산기 마음 슈슈게 배 영영 불도 터디 제트고 왔다 라진 로섬 수인의 집어지냐래 어디도 수신 거야 근데 뒤니 마세디 뒤기 전에 딱 뭐네 말아서 즉치 느기다 즉 갱인 차고 아주 좋은도 대속한가 소소 타도는 시스템 만들어 왕기 아니 코리울라 바토지 코리울라 tor시다 코리울라 숨겨 맞아 왕기 다지 즉다 나는 맨데긴 때 두수 망보지다 코리우기 집에 연구도 유기 전에 대실내 연구도 어나 되게 건가 즉 오늘 그네 니마스디가라 디나는 가서 단답해 전된데 제로 야비디래 단다면서 잔대기 있는 니들 가와서 쉬시지요 아마서 유세대 세대 통치 말해 로우두나 로두주 막체 로두주 편제 난 예주 붙인 데는데서 맞춰 쓰는 분안 지고 로잔대는 답해 니는 가마선 레송마다 다 패치려 기산 디인들가 지 오늘 니는 아니지 니마스디 오늘 차도 이거가 아주 시기기 녀몬들라 카드자야 시우 계시물 디인들가 지 오늘 지 하기 가족 경우에 다 딘송 대저에 도도냐 나저 경우에 이저에 야지 야게 도디가라 다 미세 타셔도 같이 용도 이기디 뭐니 지 다 장중이 셈종기 중의 셰페 랑게 셈달라나 능엄 첨부 맞지 셈들 아주 툭툭지 이제는 편박 장제 두제나 인삼 이제 미세 타셔신디 뭐야 그래요 땐 싸우니요 하는 이남 순제다 당해요 어떻게 무역이 미수 차려 이니가라 니네다베 세부순 와스
그시로가 잉망아 차선 되시게 참말래
시마도 제
seche nyo semje 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 nyima semje so the three illnesses, wind, one is translated as a bile, and then phlegm, the third one, which I said, I think it's jaundice, but it is translated as a bile, more proper translation, I think. They continue with the reading from the text. Buddha Shakyamuni descended particularly at the time when the five degenerations were at their worst and beings' thoughts were preoccupied by disturbing emotions and their actions unwholesome, accumulating only negativity. When misfortune falls upon others, they perversely rejoice and are jealous when hearing of others' well-being, which give rise to pain in their hearts. Cyclic existence is filled with those whose actions of body, speech, and mind are employed only in harming others. So at this time, the protectors of the doctrine, the gods and nagas who support right actions, have gone to other worlds to support the doctrine, and four classes of Buddha's disciples. On the other hand, all hostile human and non-human beings who favor wrong actions increase their activities, creating various calamities, particularly against those who follow the theory and practice of the holy doctrine. It is therefore all the more important that such people implement the teaching explained in this text, otherwise they will be unable to continue their practice of the doctrine. 디 차산만 계실라 차산로 참여. 아, 네. 셜로 가지고 저 슬라드가. So these, the five degenerations. Probably you have heard before the degenerations of lifespan, degenerations of delusions. Third is degenerated persons. Fourth, degenerated time, and then fifth is degenerated view. So these five degenerations at the time of degenerations, and as the text says, lifespan, delusions, person, time, and view. So this is a period where the text says where people sort of always engage in negative activities. What they thought most of the time is negative mentalities, and how they express is in a very kind of worse beings, thoughts, and the actions are unwholesome. And so when we look at this individually, the five degenerations, the Tibetan word is nigma, which is translated as degenerations. Nigma is it has a literal meaning of it's a words among a words. It's like words within the words. So there are five. So these are lifespan. Lifespan of a human nowadays, people who live up to 100 is considered as very long, but and then lesser 80 and 70, and mostly around maybe 60 something. Delusions, the delusions, in order to have negative emotions or negative mentality, we don't need much factors and conditions to arise, because simply encountering with the small factors, we can easily easily kind of manifest it or come up all these negative emotions. So we don't need intentional kind of effort in generating negative mentality. So in a way, we are like all these negative mentalities comes out so spontaneous. So we are very kind of professional in kind of the maintaining and preserving or expressing these negative emotions. And time, degenerated time as compared to previous, past time, is considered as a more kind of worse in a sense. We encounter lots of natural calamities or tragedy, destructions, and the people engaging in the degenerated persons or in the people are more kind of prone to engage in negative activities such as killing, but with the having a altruistic mind, let alone killing, but people won't even have these kind of negative activities even in their dream.
Tangin Tunda Chamuda Tizunala, Tangin Geju, said the pay, Tawangamba, Taminda be Geju Tenekashia. What a thing you got up? Chick Tawang and Bay Wangita, Mrs. Tajor Tikiti Yungware, Tawayang Tapajin Tagina, Takmoni, Chick Simgigi, Numung Nimbordukorwa. Thus, Kanchi Tawati Yenchini, Jenla Neki, any Jenla Rana Dungan Jingiana, Tawati Yantaba Kajagatama Marindorduna, Jenla Pembakyani, Ranging Nikitunji Tuguena, Tawati Yantapare, Tatusini, Tawa Yanta, but the Yantaba Maimba Chena dus Chigiri. What the thing in the gala, it was a San. Zhang Yunzhuna Chik Jugda, Tawa de la, any Nasigi, Tawa de Lanjita, Tarablo, Tawa, Chonzingi Tawa, Cindy, Lucin, Tawa, Dujagado, the Zokanga, Tawang and Bari.
A wrong view. In Lama Tsongkhapa's one of his texts, he talks about 80 different kinds of wrong view, and because of the wrong view or wrong philosophy or wrong concepts, it produces many suffering, many kind of translated into many problems or suffering. And on the other hand, with a wrong right view or positive view or positive concepts or philosophy, produces positive behavior. So generally we can say that whatever view or concept or philosophy which ends up bringing suffering to oneself and others, we can generally categorize as wrong or negative. And philosophy or concept or view which generally brings happiness and good for oneself and others, generally categorized as positive or right. And this view we can also see one of the root ignorance, delusion, and this one of the 6 root delusion is the wrong view, and wrong view is further kind of categorized into 6 different kind of view or concepts.
된디 인디가라 다 맞어 직 니망가기 뒤 세디가라 직에다 맞어 뒤쳐대 니망가 뒤 대나니 니면은 친님이 뒤질라 살아되어 맞어 직 소소 겨왕함에 레기 남인자나미도 겨왕함마기 곰바 상고자나미도 다 제규등 아주 양답이 취지다 대발에 다직 양답바 인민데 수수율라 최대 년순안에 팽기였나 양답바 간사텔에 양답바 차버려 팽기면나 더동배 뉴몽 라라 누구였나 간사텔라 양답바 맞차버려 간지 이 뭐니 소리 대인도가라 전된데게 즉 밖에 최송윤도가라 좀 된데라 두규라 캠비 이싱하되어 인상 뒤순 캠비 이싱하되어 인상 률진노다 삼발랐더니 최송네 도스치네다 따와 차라기 왕기 tum다시디 중으로 삼로 계속 야채 중 왕기 개발은 봤음데 중으로 와 민대기 대바 랑겔기 대바 대징기 대바세데 어떻게 수중으로 어떻게 인도가라 즉 하기 딘데기 개발지 어다 숨거래 당하나서 주 즉 딘디지 체네 동알 더동 즉 뒤니마 선쟁이마 유목니마 딘데지 깔라 인도가라 동알 망보지 깨도 뒤체 딘데지 깔라 깨 인상 다 노렌지야 망보시 자그러와 노렌지야 망보 차이는거라 즉 남바상기 비초고로 준데 긴진 도렌 깔르지 행은 chancholam도 유거래 그다까지 숨고 왔다 행은바 삼을 결석은 다 행은바데 chanchu 일람란 로야데 간디시 삼당 거래 간디시 진 유거지 되가라 삼을 토니 유거래 오 다디 베낭 반대 류된 아주 미 류된 레버레 아제 나잘 지첨부지 중화이나 민주 제열에 프로잠보든 년도 김지 프로잠보든 년도 즉 네어 프로바치긴 요래 에 라마잠보 김주주야 요래 오다 티페 미스베 야보 중으래 다동 가게 기sem진 란디단 디다베 룽알 징요나 닌디게 꽂혀봐서 세대 삼당 딘디지 삼당 아니 디게 직 둥알데 뇨아 가지라 딘데 삼 хор통은지라 룽알 뇨아당 хор미드고는 뇨아니 룽알 찌바찌게 있나 삼르 결서되니 시행기 개발 요르스 경고를 무도와 대치그리 니바 양결 딱즉 냐외 체제도서 같이 정보도 이 냐외 레바데 미 레바 말에 삼탄 뺏게 요 말에 딘디 랍침부 당투야 요 말에 다 딘디기 셈푸스도 없고 간라 냐외 다 찬열레 배자바이나 찬열라 냐외 메당 아니 즉 루이 야르메도 저거래 아주 페미지 툭도 두나 가져 차기도 다냐를 찾아나 배말 탈게 봐 우발 탈게 봐 우발 첨부 탈게 봐 스데페 루이도스 차바되는 싸브레 차거래 근데 밀로 분타치다 뭐에 대거 세링보리 어다 근데 그 강할 때다 딘디긴 레기 내민데 냐외시게나 세들이 뭐 쉬우진 용거래 동안 술라메 바진 용거래 다티 냐와케 먹어 미들랑 민바데 야뭐 중거래 삼도 삼로도 담아이나 양지 펜부도 와 풀안 뺑기도 와 어다 티게디 누수 삼단다지 코레이나 어다 경은 장저 람드기로 와 신디 오늘 갱 안바데 내가 동알 저 셈베 총다 디 둘레 소나마 망부시 사두고 와 어다 텐디기 시거데 저걸 주니까 벤나 경은 장저 놈도 그 원에 또수 차로 규데스 데이터부 담배 치주빈 갈긴라 튕긴 저시나 개파테 인라 경은 장주도 규에 니바진야 텔라zer 숭도와 원에 어다 똑수지네 공바제데 배 미스베 개침으로 자외 오니 튕용거리 경은 장주 남긴 맹안디니 땅에 양도는 왜 맹아인 땡에 양도 구비 맹아인 스페타보네 즉 ngone ngaranzo lungne chenjila pe chi lungme agar songa ta de chiba chikyang rai tema thadun chamchu doya oda dendi chi samlo khore ina denda we mi tela kanza tela kandi ji dungale na to chi kyamgorum sungdo ata ngone sungdo kyamgorum kabakasa sungdo chi 킹은 룬진베 갈리나 난게생 데키티 꾼투투 미도시 데투마도 간나치 팀시베 까딘인즈 경고로 수도 나 경고로 뭐 오네 맹아난 게 어때 되게 오네 맹아래
A period of 5 generations. One we mentioned degenerations of view or philosophy or concepts, whether a particular view is degenerated or not. It really depends on one's own kind of karmic result. The view which is really kind of beneficial to yourself, you can say it's something still kind of valid, useful, not degenerated. Generally in Buddhism, when we talk about philosophy, because of 4 philosophies, different, Buddha's teaching based on different mental dispositions of disciples, there are 4 school of thoughts or 4 tenets. And because of their different power of intention, there are 3 different vehicles. And so in this degenerative time when we face all different kinds of problems, what practice is most needed is the able to transform problems into path, spiritual path. So this is what the text talks here. If we enter the gateway of this practice, we will be able to transform unfavorable into favorable circumstances. This is the action of a wise man. This teaching provides the power to defeat all adversaries and overcome all obstacles on the path. Unfavorable circumstances such as physical illness or mental problem or any hardship difficulties. So it really depends on how this transformation is done through mental process at the level of thought. And how can we transform is, for example, somebody suffering from illness and going through a hard time. They can think about the positive sides of being a human. Have access to medical facilities, treatments, and relying upon good friends and spiritual teachers and all these facilities. And when you think at the positive aspect, even people with 2 people with the same illness, one who doesn't know how to look more optimistic, suffer much worse than one who is optimistic and have this kind of positive intention. And more further thinking in Buddhist way is when one think about the suffering of beings in other realm, like sufferings in the hell realm, how they endure sufferings for extremely long period. And in hell realm, such as extreme cold and hunger, extreme hot and extreme cold, extreme hot, the intensity of the heat or burning is that we cannot differentiate the body and fire. That's the level of intensity of burning. Likewise, the intensity of coldness. It talks about a body being splitting into different pieces, like a lotus flower, like Utpal, another flower. So it talks about this, different intensity of the suffering, and they have to suffer this for extremely long period. So when we think about, otherwise it might need to experience the result of suffering in other realm, it would be much, much worse. So looking at, in a broader way, understanding, different sufferings of different realm, one can really to transform the problems or difficult into something really positive, and with very kind of optimistic kind of outlook. So it really depends on how one think mentally or take these problems and then kind of transform into positive. And here His Holiness used to share his thought on often he used to say that when there is lots of problems, sufferings around his surrounding, but he can maintain his calmness, peacefulness of the mind, and that is because of his practice of Buddhism. And this is a really true kind of His Holiness' own message of his or message or advice of his own practice.
topic ta sang ma ge kong la do je den la sang ma ge bin ze ba zo la topic ke wang ab ja ma topic ke wang ab ja chang ju se ka la ten di ki lu gi yo re wa da ten di ma topic ke wang ab ja je ve kap chi la ani chom den de ani rang gi ma la ni dong ja shu ni u ma ge ngo la dong ja shu ni chi ma ge le pa chu lu gi yo re wa da te chi ne ni chom den de tapé tindi ta chumden de randa mare te tugi chipade kuzinga mate gi ene pe cham chimbare se ro pe te ki cham chinde ne thang chambo jigal chag khamba chambo jigena ene tel tenalo zuru de ga pe chulkor ji gi mi jing goe ga la chulkor ji dus chine ora gane le ba chur tengu ores ene ta kharche bare se ka chide ene mai ne lepa dijene mai lepa chure ti leki ne mindre kodus chene nyongu arasite labre chebare din khampate tugor sungende tigete tela de chamden ne lemsa lang tegalta ta chamden ne lapkido marte tugi jibate gi ani chik hang tegate thungji te yende phadar dem pharjen chamden di ta tugi jibate gi godela chai tugor dusde ani pe dungal pa de me yonde gala ani kombi ta chik kyawanga me kombi kombi ani monam jare chabare oda monam jane ngada ba mala ani pe chik dongja chite leba chuni mungbe wangi diden dindo che chenge le sang kaso yore digi ki le ki naminde ngendi mimba so ngendi tawo so monam jare chuorda person lugi sudo nan chik lamate sutte sudo oda te so mone tus chebaina endo yungwa oda ti mone izoina kengen chanjolandu tuwa mana mato nasa yungwa chana shiwa yungwa di kyawanga me legi namindan dewa minda ke sawa min mare le sidela chik lendi ki chaji chawa sanya chiki chuli lagdo rapata ti maja hapo ta lensan ko chik guljo ji kyana ko tumri shi tumdo ta hapo to te so rapare chik lende dela kongur rich jose kongur rich shind kongur rich sundo chasha wa sai nya chiki chuli wata te bi dala te so tu chene chik ngone 공부하시기 나 팽기도 맞췄다. 대사를 고려내는 데디 아래. 근데 룬데 봐 용거 대가도는 도렌제다 봐. 난그 산로그 즉 개념 전주란도 유튜브지. 중나 야고도 와. 엔도도 와.
In the Buddha's own, a story of past life, what we commonly call Jataka tales. there are 500 lifetime where Buddha reborn as in the pure realm, and 500 lifetimes where Buddha reborn as reborn at the impure realms. So there are many kind of stories related to those Buddha's kind of birth at different realm, and there's one story that we find in stages of Padlamrim text and in other scriptures. One of the previous Buddha's rebirth, same kind of consciousness, but not exactly the Buddha himself. So he sort of heard his own mother, and sort of by so he kind of hurt his mother by kicking at her head and hurting her brain, and so later when he was so he later became kind of extremely sad, and he just left the home and wandering around. So on the way he kind of experienced or met a huge kind of house. In that he saw kind of machine kind of working, and then in the machine he saw kind of something squeezing, and he asked the person who's working there what is happening, and he said that this is the result of somebody who had in the past kind of harmed her mother, and her brain came out, so inflicting kind of pain. So immediately this remind him, and it strongly moved him, and he out of regret he made a prayer that a person like me, whoever did same kind of harming or hurting their mother, may all the negative karmic be ripened upon me, and immediately everything disappear. So we see this kind of stories in Buddha's own kind of life stories, and this basically tells encountering a negative circumstances can be a really strong factors that can transform into a spiritual path and practices. And so being in the cyclic existence in samsara, we face all kinds of problems and illnesses, difficulties, hardship, but whatever we face, encounter experiences has something to do with our karmic actions that we have did in the past. And within the karmic action, karma, there are some which can be very obvious, which we know, the result, or which we know the causes and factors and conditions. Then there are some which we don't know. So in generally, karmic based on its kind of creation, are created, classified into three karmic action that can be, experienced directly, and then they are slightly hidden, then they are extremely hidden. So subtlety of karmic actions and their result, the most subtlest are the one only that can be understood only by enlightened beings.
거기 로팜이야라 소바 파절라 차트비 느게이나 이리기 내민디 주번 누르요 계속했다 파마라 소바 이리 같은 파마다 여의신이로 소바 되게 같은 저거 인사 대조르지 거기 두 판바로 원바 판바로 대조기 지금 거기 라따다지 마주이나 수소 레기 내민디 노아 저거 두고 되게 되지 등도 이런
And that story of Buddha's previous lifetime also entails another kind of perspective of karmic cause and effect. The harm that you inflicted upon people who have a special connection with you, such as your parents, spiritual teacher, and people who are very close to you, and the karmic result that you experience can be much more quicker, much more kind of intense too. Continue with the reading. If we travel in this way, the way of development and meditation, we can see our bodies as the blissful pure land. Then unfavorable circumstances, whether internal or external, will neither cause misery nor upset the mind, but will be transformed into factors conducive to happiness. This is known as the undisturbed worldly realm, and even a great heap of fire-like afflictions, whether physical or mental, will not move or disturb the mind. This is called the city of the source of happiness, and is the point of attaining the single-pointed meditation, capable of easily following all doctrines. A little practice at this time, when the 5 degenerations arise and we are overwhelmed by both internal and external impediments, will be more swiftly effective than accumulating merits for eons in the Pure Land. Such is the special method for transforming bad times into good ones, an explanation of which follows below. So what is mentioned here, especially able to practice, good ethics in degenerative time. His Holiness and his 2 teachers used to say that somebody who can maintain a complete pure ethical discipline during Buddha's lifetime, and somebody at this degenerative time maintain one only single kind of ethical discipline in degenerative time has much more beneficial than somebody who is practicing full ethical discipline during Buddha's time. And that difference is purely out of these timing, lifespan, 5 degenerations. During Buddha's time, people and the mental kind of factors or emotions are not so grows as it used to be nowadays. So, from the point of view of difficulties in challenging, it's much more difficult at our time or degenerative time. I'll take a break here.